Well, it's time to think about gifts. Uh, Certainly my anti-gravity wine bottle holder was a good gift. And I have some scraps and cutoffs. And if you glue them together, you can make yourself a pretty nice looking rolling pin. You might have some nieces and nephews or something like that getting married, and a rolling pin to the prospective bride is also a very nice thing to do. Or a housewarming if you're going to someplace place for a party. Doesn't cost much of all any amount of money to put it together, because they're cutoffs and things hanging around, unless you want to get into a production business, and then you go find the best wood that you can and do a bunch of them. By the way, what I've got there is a walnut piece hanging around. These are some cutoffs from a Bubinga guitar back that didn't make the cut, so to speak, for actually getting into a guitar. And this big old short piece of figured maple that should work out very well. So it's going to be about 2¼ inches square. I need to bring this down. I need to plane a little bit of that off, and then I'll be gluing them up. Well, there's no getting around that you can make a pretty nice rolling pin out of 8/4 or 10/4 stock, probably, of a single species of wood. And most rolling pins are sold that way, but this one's going to be a little bit unusual in that it's got so many different things going on in it. So it's glue up time. So this is the beginning of my story stick. This is going to be the pattern that I use for the flame on both ends of the rolling pin. So that's pretty much what the end of our rolling pin is going to look like. Okay, I've made the blank round now, and if you can see the marks that I've made here, they coincide with important points. For instance, I want that part to go away so that I don't have to worry about the dimple. And this is going to be the high spot, and then a little bump there, and then come up here, transition into the flat, specifically round part of the rolling pin. And I've been working on this for a little while now, and I think I'm real close to the finish on this one. Of course, when it parts off, then I'm going to have to finish all of the knob off. But I've got this these little bullseyes on the flame just the way I want them, and the transition points from going through the Bubinga into the walnut looks pretty good. So I'll do the same thing on the other side and give it some sanding. This is now a case of taking off the nubs and cleaning up after. And just as with the cooking utensils that I did not long ago, spatula and spoon, the finish is pharmaceutical grade mineral oil. Flood it until it can't absorb anymore, and then finish it off with some beeswax mineral oil, and that just puts a little sheen in it, and it works really nicely with a rolling pin. Long lasting finish. You just freshen it up when you need to with if you happen to have the beeswax mineral oil, that's a good thing to use. If you don't, then you can just come back and give it another coat of mineral oil. And again, the way you do this is just flood the work for about at least an hour. And then when it doesn't seem to want to have any more soak in, no more dry spots, then just wipe down the surface and apply the beeswax. But I think you can see that's a pretty nice looking piece of work right there. It's not your everyday old rolling pin. Nice gift. So there you have a pretty fun project made out of not exactly scraps, but it's not pallet wood either. They're cut off of some pretty nice wood. Takes practically no time. The longest you have to worry about is the weight and make sure that the glue is completely set up. So that's generally speaking an overnight, because I don't like to put things that might fly apart onto the lathe. There you have it. I hope somebody enjoys that, considers it an heirloom. If you like what you see, subscribe and come on back. I got some more.